What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 2 of our Cincinnati Bengals franchise. Episode 1 was just a little hype, little introduction video, team reveal for Madden 19. Episode 2, I'm not going to do any sort of gameplay. I'm just going to basically be going over the roster, kind of like a welcome video for those of you guys that are new, coming over to the channel, who haven't been subscribed, who are really big Madden fans, but might not be big baseball fans. So for MLB The Show, I was doing the Reds. Got a lot of traction on that. A lot of you guys are from Cincinnati, love the Reds, love Cincinnati sports, and I thought maybe, for those of you guys that are giving this channel so much love, I gotta take on the Bengals. I have to do it. I don't have a choice in the matter. Well, I did have a choice in the matter. If it wasn't the Bengals, I probably would have picked the, dare I say it, I would have picked the Ravens or probably the Dolphins, just because I feel like with Lamar Jackson, that would be kind of a cool little rebuild story. And then you've got the Dolphins, obviously, who are just an absolute mess. But we're not here to talk about those two teams. We're here to talk about Who Dey, Cincinnati Bengals. So, all right, so you guys saw the introduction video. It had a negative tone to it the very first 4 minutes, but I really wanted to capture the frustration that you guys are feeling as Bengals fans. You guys have had success, long sustained success, which is a very, very difficult thing to do in the NFL. We all know that, right? And with Marvin Lewis at the helm, the Bengals have been consistent. You got to give him that. He's been to a lot of playoff games. He's been to 7. He went 0 for 7. But that's part of the frustration that you guys are expressing. I'd love for you guys to express some more frustration about the Bengals in the comment section so that I know what I need to do in order to turn this team around. I kind of have an idea, and I'm going to talk about that in this video, but basically I want to hear from you guys because you guys are the die-hard Bengals fans that are subscribed now to this channel, or who are not even subscribed, but you're just continuing to watch this series unfold. And there's going to be decisions that I make that probably aren't popular. There's going to be decisions that I don't make that are not going to be very popular. That's just the way that it goes. But I hope that you guys will find something in this series that you guys enjoy, that you like, and that we can actually go forward, move forward with this, and build this Bengals roster, this team, into a Super Bowl contender, a playoff contender that actually wins some games. And I just want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this roster, what your guys' thoughts are in real life, and how the Bengals are going to do, and how you think they're going to do in this actual 2018 season in real life. So without further ado, I'll get into this roster, kind of like the player profiles that I kind of do at every beginning of every series that I do. But basically, thank you guys for coming by, watching this, and thank you guys for having so much success with this Reds franchise. You guys have been a huge, huge part of the channel, and big time shout out for you guys. So let's get into the Bengals roster. What do I think about these dudes? Well, first you got to start at quarterback. Andy Dalton, 77 overall right now. I don't know if I'm going to actually use, I don't know if there's an OSFM roster set out there that might change some of the overall ratings or whatnot, but we'll just talk about this for right now. Don't take too much stock into the overall rating. I'm going to be going over how I feel about each player. So Andy Dalton, kind of an interesting player, to say the least. This was a guy who had a pretty darn good last couple seasons, right? 2015, 25 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's money. That's money numbers right there. 2012, that's not too bad of a season. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And then 2013, 33 touchdowns he threw, but he also threw 20 picks. You can't do that. You can't throw 20 picks. But this is where he really took the step forward, was in 2015, so 3 years ago. 3,200 yards, 4,200 yards in 2016, 4,200 in 2013. It's almost like when I was growing up, 3,000-yard passers or 3,500-yard passers were elite level. It seems like quarterbacks are doing that all the time now, right? So if you're throwing for 4,000 yards, then you're like in the elite crowd, right? I don't know if this is all because that's what the Bengals offense was in those years, was just like chuck it, just kind of like air raiding it. But you know, when you're throwing that many times, almost 600 times, yeah, you're gonna amass the amount of yards that Andy Dalton did. So the thing with Dalton is, what I want to do for him in this series is I'm honestly, I'm not going to give him that long of a leash. I'll just be honest with you guys right up front. I'm not going to give him long of a leash at all. I think that we're probably going to have to end up drafting a quarterback at some point. I don't think Logan Woodside is technically the answer, but he's a hard-working dude. And, you know, maybe one day in real life he might take the job away. You know, you never know. You never know. You gotta always leave that card on the table. But for Dalton, I think he needs more weapons. And I think the Bengals organization knows that. If they can get Tyler Eifert healthy, and actually news reports were that he was combing his hair and he hurt himself, poked himself in the eye, so he's done for the year. No, I'm just kidding. But if Eifert can be healthy, that's going to be huge for this offense. You've got Joe Mixon, a one-year pro. This would be his second year. And then Giovanni Bernard has obviously always been a very solid pro running back. Mark Walton Jr. maybe might come into his own this year in a rookie role. Who knows? But this 1-2-3 punch, I'm going to dare to say, is pretty good. I like it. Didn't mean to do that. AJ Green obviously is just a boss wide receiver. Love AJ Green. Ever since he was in Georgia, I'm like, dude, the Lions need to draft him. Pair him up with Calvin. You know, it'd be perfect. But they didn't. But always a very good receiver. Super tall. Can go get it. Very athletic. I love the fact that AJ Green is like a toe tap, like master. He can really stick those feet down, get in bounds, or stay in bounds on catches down the sideline. That's really where I think he excels above everybody else. Consistent 1,000-yard receiver, double digits almost every year. I think that this 2017 number really fell off for him for touchdowns, and not so much in the yards, but for the touchdowns. Even though 8's really good, I think he can do a little bit. I think he can do better, honestly. I think that was just because the offense wasn't great, and I think that's because Tyler Boyd still didn't do a whole lot. John Ross especially did not do a whole lot for the Bengals last season. And just looking at some of Boyd's numbers here, yeah, he fell off. And I don't know if that's because he was hurt. See, this is the thing, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a Bengals aficionado. I probably will be by the end of this season, maybe by mid-season, once I start watching more of their games and whatnot. But yeah, you guys are gonna have to let me know. I think Tyler Boyd was hurt at some point during the year. John Ross obviously didn't do anything. He had that one rushing attempt for a fumble against Houston. So I think he's going to take a step forward this season. I think that they're probably going to use him a lot with like screen plays, wide receiver screens, to get out with some blockers in front of him. That's going to be pretty nice to see. So for this offense, Cordy Glenn, big time signing. 79 overall. I don't know. I would probably give him a little higher of a rating. That's probably because they think he's a little bit on the older side for an offensive lineman, like 6 years. I probably would have given him like an 83, not a 79. But Clint Bowling there at left guard. Billy Price, I love this pick. Center was an issue for them. Billy Price is, out of Ohio State, so that's going to be big for them. Just because he's got that in his veins, man. He's got Ohio. He bleeds Ohio through his veins. He's a big time player in this area, so everybody loves him. And then you talk about Sam Hubbard, who is also from Ohio State on the defensive side. Everybody loves him in Cincinnati as well. So I think Billy Price is going to be a great pro this is a guy that I might confuse him with Frank Ragnow for the Lions, but it was between Price or Ragnow that the pundits were like, we don't really know who the best center is in this draft. But that was a steal for the Bengals to get Billy Price. He's going to shore up that offensive line for years to come. You got Jake Fisher here out of Oregon. He's still pretty young. The normal XP. That might be something that we might want to consider drafting for next season. But we'll see how it goes with the running game with right tackle. Obviously, Tyler Eifert, big-time player on offense, but he's got to stay healthy. Check out his numbers here. Right there. 2015 was the big year right there. That's Andy Dalton's security blanket right there. So 13 touchdowns out of tight end in 2015. Let's look at Dalton's numbers in 2015 one more time and see if there's any correlation. Any correlation in the offense with when Tyler Eifert's healthy. 13 of Andy Dalton's 25 touchdowns went to Tyler Eifert. So you guys tell me. I think that there's a definite correlation. So I think the offense might be sneaky. I think we probably need to address in the offseason probably the line again. And we probably need to draft a quarterback just in case Dalton doesn't do anything for us. He's a 7-year pro, I believe. Yeah, 7-year pro. So, his time is starting to come up. And we need to focus on that. But let's check out the defense real quick. This is obviously the team's strength. This is a guy that I love. Nick Vigil. The guy was a tackling machine last season. Out of Utah State, nobody really saw this coming. 113 tackles, so he stepped up. He stepped up in a big way for that defense. The one thing about Marvin Lewis is he knows how to draft and bring up linebackers. He's always been able to do that. Preston Brown, another big-time tackler for the Buffalo Bills last season. He's a 4-year pro. And look at that. I mean, it's every year. Every year. He's a tackling machine. So, at the very least, this Bengals team, if you guys are doing fantasy, take the Bengals defense. No joke. The Ravens suck. They get them twice a year. The Steelers are obviously, you don't want to play them against the Steelers. The Browns, might want to play them against the Browns too. And then obviously, who am I missing here? AFC North. Nope, that's it. I mean, I would definitely draft the Bengals defense. You also got Vincent Ray in there. Burfict's a beast, obviously. And then Malik Jefferson. Dude, I'm surprised that Malik Jefferson fell that far. And when the Bengals selected him, I'm like, what? What? Malik Jefferson, he was supposed to go in the first round, right? I mean, out of Texas, he's a big-time tackler. I love their linebacking core. It might not show up in the overall rating, but I love that linebacking core. George Iloka, pretty good free safety. Sam Williams, best safety on the team. And then this pick, Jesse Bates out of Wake Forest. Love this pick as well. He's also got that quick XP in Madden. So Jesse Bates, guys, watch out for him this season. He's going to be a player. I firmly believe that. Speaking of who's the players, William Jackson III. This guy, nobody saw this coming, right? Out of Houston, 84 overall right now. This guy was a lockdown corner. You guys saw some of the highlights. He went toe-to-toe with Antonio Brown a few times. So I love me some William Jackson. I think he's going to be probably right up there with Darius Slay as one of the best corners in all of football. Then you've got Drake Kirkpatrick. Obviously, he's a very good corner as well. Carl Lawson, this is a big thing. Big thing. 1-year pro. Quick XP. 82 overall. I think that this guy's probably going to be like an 85 to a 90 by the end of, or the middle of year number 2. So Carl Lawson's a great player. Marvin Lewis's defenses, guys, they're legit. Bengals have always had a good defense under him. So Geno Atkins, what's there to say about Geno? He's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Look at that run stop. Look at the power rush. Look at the speed rush. He's got it all. He does it all. He's got that star XP. Yeah, I think the defense obviously runs through Geno Atkins, so that's a big thing. Chris Baker and Ryan Glasgow, I think that these guys are probably going to split some time. But Chris Baker was a pretty good pro for Washington, and he was he had one good year, I think, and everybody was talking about Chris Baker, Pro Bowl. I mean, I think this was it. Yeah, the 6 sacks in 2015. Everybody was like, "Dang, Chris Baker's a boss." So it's gonna relieve some pressure off of Geno Atkins. I think that's gonna be a really good year for Atkins. Dunlap, this is filthy. Lawson, Atkins, Baker, Dunlap. I mean, maybe you could do a little bit better with the DT too, but yeah, you got a young guy here. You got veteran presence on that other side. Yeah, this defense is gonna be nasty, guys, nasty. One last thing. I don't think I have anything else to talk to you guys about. What I like to do, actually, yeah, this is what I like talking about. Here we go. What I like to do is I like to give the community or the channel, my viewers, the opportunity to let their voices be heard. That's one thing that I love to do is interaction in series. And honestly, I want you guys to tell me what you think that we should do in free agent signings right here, because obviously there's a lot of players, a lot of good players still left in the free agents list, and I know that it might not be super realistic to like get Des Bryant or Cliff Averill, who's retired actually in real life. Navarro Bowman is retired. Eric Decker, I don't remember where he signed, but he is signed. Eric Reed, I don't want to get into politics too much on this channel, but Reed might be a good signing here. 26 years old and 80 overall, and I don't think he's signed with anybody because of the whole like anthem protest thing that's been going on. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Eric Reed, come play some football for us. That's where I stand on it. So let's just stick to playing football. Eddie Pleasant played for the Texans last season. Orleans Darkwa, we don't really need a running back, but I'll scroll through this. You guys can pause it at any time, obviously, but I want to know what you guys think. Who should we go after? Who's a realistic option that we could nab that's going to help this team? Maybe even like a young guy. Like, I know we're not sticking to like 30 plus year old players here. Maybe we can sign a guy that's going to help us out in the long term. Like, what? Young Hoku. Why not? But, yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this episode. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just scrolling through here for you guys. Luke Jockle. That's not actually a bad... That's not bad. 26 years old, 72. I wonder if Luke Jockle might be a good option for us on offense. Let's see. Where are we at left guard? Clint Bowling. I mean, he's better than Westerman, right? I mean, he would be a nice little backup option. He can play right guard, too. He might be... I mean, he'd be better than Redmond. I mean, why not? So... let me know what you guys think. Maybe in next episode we'll actually go over like some schemes. Maybe like try to get the best out of Andy Dalton. I think that this team is best when they're chucking it. I honestly do. Mixon played that way at Oklahoma. He was like that screen back. He can catch it out of the backfield. Bernard's the same way. He's a receptions machine. I don't know if this team's going to be able to run the football. I think this team is best when Dalton is running that kind of TCU type of offense where it's almost like an air raid. And, I think that's why they've got so many good wide receivers. LaFell, Boyd, Core, Ross, Green. They're going to be running some screens, man, with John Ross, and I think that he's going to bust loose on quite a bit of them this year. So let me know what you guys think, and that's going to be it for this episode. Hopefully this is a EA Access, $5 monthly thing, and I'm probably gonna cancel it after the after this. So let's do some gameplay for episode number 3, and then we'll go from there. So I think the game comes out on the 7th. So we've got a few more days. We got about 5 more days until it actually officially comes out. This is like they give you 10 hours in EA Access, and then after that, they shut the trial off. So I'm gonna actually try to get some gameplay, just maybe against this one preseason game against the Bears, to show you guys. Maybe we can talk about some of the things that you commented on, and just kind of have like a little informal video for episode number 3. And then by the time that the game officially drops, episode 4 I think will be week number 1 and week number 2. What I forgot to tell you guys, and if you're still here watching, it'll still be posted in the description, but upload schedule for this series is going to be every Sunday, and I will be posting 2 weeks per video. So in week number 1 and 2, I'll have that in one video. Week number 3 and 4, I'll have that in one video, so on and so forth. We'll do some scouting as well in those videos. Really hit it home, do 1 upload per week, and be good. Things might change though later on in the fall and the winter. We'll just have to see. So it's kind of like an improv type of deal. So hope you guys like this thing. Leave a like if you did, and if you're new to this channel and you're just checking this out for the first time, make sure you hit that little red button for a subscribe, or my logo in the bottom right hand corner. And guys, we're gonna get this Bengals team revving and rolling. I can promise you that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.